What I have here is kind of a continuation of last week's video where I tried to get the highest possible battle destiny. That deck really didn't use any dark side cards to help out the light side, or stealing cards from the dark side to help out the light side. But I do have, in this version, no time limit in terms of turns, I should say, no turn limit. And also we're going to steal some dark side cards to help us get this done. So lots of Jedi are going to be useful for this, and you'll see why in a bit. Depa Balaba's the first one I got out, since she lets me draw the top card of my reserve deck, so I get a little bit more force activation because of her. I get to draw a card from my reserve deck. There comes the original Vader, the one that adds 1 to each battle destiny. So Depp is helping me get some cards. There's a key site here that the battle's going to take place at, but it's going to take the dark side a while to get it out. But if you watched last week's video, you'll notice a lot of familiar cards in hand. I'm with you too to double battle destiny and all sorts of battle destiny adders. Jabba's Palace helps get those sites out quickly, the battlegrounds at least. And this guy's nice because he can steal weapons, well, all sorts of things, but specifically I want to steal weapons from the opponent's lost pile with him. There's a very particular weapon that has to do with Depa Billaba and Darth Vader and all sorts of other people like Yoda. But we're getting lots of sites out. And that's the key one there. So this site, add 1 to each of your battle destiny draws here for each Tatooine battleground site you occupy. And Eric is in there to get some retrieval. So Darth Vader moved over to there. Still drawing cards with Depa. Gonna force drain. If you haven't seen these types of cooperative deck videos before, I mean, I'm playing both decks at the same time from separate computers. So dark side's trying to help out here. So I know what's in both hands, which helps move the game along. Chadra fans can steal weapons from the opponent's hand. Since I'm going to need to lose force to steal weapons, this will help me retrieve. And I got a few ishy tibs in there to recycle cards. They kind of work like C-3PO. So there's the force drain. Got to lose a force. Doesn't really matter which one. But they win this round goes on there, and that adds 1 to each of my battle destiny draws at that site. Comes Boba Fett. He's going to be useful with this interrupt, so I better get Lando to the same site as him eventually. So I'm trying to occupy all these Tatooine battleground sites. I need a little bit of help from the dark side to do that too. Okay, and there's that weapon that I was looking for. I'm trying to get a bunch of these in my deck. Destiny +1 for each Dark Jedi or Jedi on table. So I'm trying to get Dark Jedi or Jedi on table to add to the, it starts out as a 0, but it's going to get pretty high. Plus for each one I occupy. Once I get Revolution on there, which I think I have in my hand already, or maybe I need to draw it. Yeah, right now that's dark side text. Oh, yeah, there's Revolution. So now that flipped, and now I get the dark side's text. Lots more sites coming out. Some of them virtual, some of them not. Some of them episode 1, some of them from the original trilogy. You might have seen those two Outer Rim scouts there before. All right, so dark side's got to use a point man because Forlom's going to be key for this. Question is, can I keep enough cards in my deck to deploy everyone I need as dark side? But yeah, point man's an easy way to do that. Okay, so dark side has plenty of cards in hand. They can start losing those lightsabers no problem to help them get stolen easier. Chadrafan can help steal lightsabers too. Trying to get more Chadrafans to steal more lightsabers. Rey's just a Jedi. She doesn't really do much else in this deck. That's going to be important for adding a Battle Destiny where Luke is. And I had to have Darkseid deploy an Endor site to get that out. It's another Jedi, and she adds a Battle Destiny. Tarpals is going to add 2 with Jar Jar. And we're trying to get a bunch of cards in light sides. Lost pile here, or at least the lightsabers, because they can be retrieved somewhat easily. Almost getting too many sites on the board, at least in terms of being able to see. But there we go. I can spread that side out so we can at least see what's going on at the main site easier. All right, so dark side lost Sabak, which means that light side gets Outer Rim Scout. Had a couple extra deck slots in the dark side deck, so I figured might as well let light side steal some aliens so they can occupy more sites. Because light side was running out of space in their deck. It's kind of a balance between getting, well, I don't know if I did the math too well, but I kind of wanted, if I drew a 7, I kind of figured that if I drew a 7 for Battle Destiny, a printed value of 7, I wanted to have a certain number of Battle Destiny draws. And I thought that would be how I would max my Battle Destiny. I'm not sure if I was explaining that well. I had a spreadsheet going that sort of made sense to me, but we'll see how many I end up with in any case. So more Jedi coming out. So occupying sites and getting Jedi on table. So that's a double whammy, really. Each Jedi I put out at its own site is going to add 2 to each my Battle Destiny draws. Well, 2 to each Sidious's lightsaber I draw for Destiny, I should say. Maul's coming out to get an extra Dark Jedi on table. I put him at Qui-Gon's site just for thematics. Dangerous Time is nice when you need to sort the light sides lost or used or force pile. Named all the piles, but the proper one. Those Chadrafans are stealing. A lot of this now is getting set up. But those Chadrafans are doing a pretty good job of stealing cards. Leia adds Battle Destiny with Han, just automatically. It's a tough balance in this one to figure out, okay, I need to put in a certain amount of used interrupts that add Battle Destinies, but they only add 1, and I need to put in a certain amount of lost interrupts that have high Destiny that also add multiple Battle Destinies, and I got to retrieve those. Just got to make sure you have enough cards in your deck to actually draw all your Battle Destinies. And I played that just to get the card out of my hand to get more cards in my deck, because I was planning on deploying a lot of characters the next turn. Another Dark Jedi. Doctor Evazin comes out. Holding off on deploying Luke because I still need Erica to be able to retrieve. She's got to retrieve those Sabak cards after I play Sabak to get Lightside to steal an alien. And I finally got a Baragwin in hand, which is nice. So I'll be getting him out pretty soon. Or maybe the Chatter fans first. There he goes. It's going to go to Jabba's palace. I'm sure many of you know what a Baragwin does. He lets you, once per turn, retrieve the top card of your lost pile, assuming it's a weapon, device, or transport vehicle. So that's how I'm going to start getting all these lightsabers back. Save a force so the Baragwin can do his magic again. But Sabak first. Light side gets a very nice 10. Dark side went over on purpose. That way the Outer Rim Scout could be lost. And dark side can retrieve that Sabak right back. Is that a couple point mens? Or would we say point men? So some retrieval. We got the Eope with Owen and Bruce on it. Also, let's see if I can click the top. And oh yeah, Padme's on there too. So she's going to add a battle destiny while driving or riding that. Starting to get a handful of too many Sidious's lightsabers, and I want to start ditching them with Luke into my force pile. I could keep cards back with the issue tip, but I wasn't tracking too well, so I might have just dropped a Sidious's lightsaber and picked another one up. So I figured I might as well just activate it all and deploy what I can. There goes Dooku to get another Dark Jedi on table. Place it back again. This might be the last one. Very nice. 9. You're trying to get, it's like blackjack. You're trying to get 11 without going over. And aliens work as clone cards there, I believe. So does that say, yeah, 14? So when you have an alien and then another card that isn't an alien, you have to copy the value of the other card, which was a 7. So 7 times 2 is 14. So Darkseid automatically lost that one because they busted. They went over 11. Almost said 21, but they went over 11. So Whiteside's trying to steal, but all they're really getting is Sabaks. And there we see an Outer Rim Scout in hand. So he switched sides. And I drew a harvest, so I figured, well, I might as well retrieve 4 now. Since I'm gonna have to lose some Sidious's lightsabers. That way I can clear my lost pile out for the most part. So that's that last Outer Rim Scout I needed. Speed things up a bit here until we get to the battle. So got the last Outer Rim Scout. Now it's just a matter of getting everybody out and spreading them out. Alright, so we retrieved. Gotta lose a card sometimes, though that's all right. Got that Bearguin to help us. And don't want to play Luke just yet because we need Darkseid needs to retrieve one more card. I ended up with an extra Travis Palace back in there, but we've got plenty of cards that we needed in our hand now. All sorts of good stuff. Darkseid's going to need just about every card once we get to this battle. So Chadra fans are still trying to steal. They're having some success. So I do have General Solo here. Now, he doesn't add a battle destiny like Han with Blaster Pistol does, but he is a scout. And Lieutenant Page, whoops, I clicked on the EOP. Here's Lieutenant Page. He adds one to each of my battle destinies. When with Derlin, Kraken, or Radiant as sight, which that doesn't help, but or with at least two of your other scouts in exterior planet sight, which this is. Plus, again, I always have to consider how many battle destinies I'm drawing. I could have used an outer room. That's why I did outer room scouts, is because I could use one at that site with Page if I needed to, but I ended up having more battle destinies than cards I could draw, so I figured I'd make this switch with Han. Okay, we're gonna slow down a bit now. So we're deploying these effects on these characters. Those are nice because they make some of those 2 battle destiny interrupts use, but that's the main one. I'm with you too. So they can double your total battle destiny when the 4 main heroes are in a battle together. Now it's playing lots of interrupts that add battle destinies. That one adds 1 because Qui-Gon, or excuse me, Obi-Wan, episode 1, Obi-Wan is with the Dark Jedi. And Luke is with Vader, so he adds 2. And we're going to retrieve those high destiny cards back. The used interrupt, so as old times, I know added 2, old times added 1. Give to the Mentors a lost interrupt adds 2 because Obi-Wan and Luke are together. Luke and Leia together, so add 2. Rebel leadership goes used because I have General Kenobi there. That's a big one to play because that adds 2 when Lando's with Boba Fett. Harvest because Luke is with his aunt and uncle. Don't get cocky as a used interrupt, though. Okay, so pause it real quick. Din Djarin, he previously targeted one of these characters over here, so I have 8 cards left in my lost pile, and Din Djarin targeted Boba Fett, I think. So if Boba Fett dies because of Din Djarin, I get to retrieve 2 if I send Boba Fett to the use pile. So Boba Fett hits Luke, and Dr. Evasion's about to make Luke dead. That's where Anakin Skywalker comes in. So Anakin Skywalker, Luke's about to be lost, Vader's present. Those are both true. You shuffle your reserve deck and draw a destiny, add 6 if the Emperor's there. If the total destiny is more than 12, Vader crosses over. Opponent's got to lose 6 force. Luke isn't lost, and the Emperor is lost. The Emperor's elsewhere, so I'm not adding 6 to this. I got to get a destiny more than a 13 after shuffling my reserve deck, but you've probably already seen the weapon that's involved here. So I draw a destiny. It's actually a 17 because there's 17 Jedi and Dark Jedi on tables. That easily beats the 12 needed. And that crosses Vader over. And Darkseid's got to lose 6 force, a bunch of which they had in their hand. Okay, but there's still more to be done. Lando's going to exclude Forlom. We're going to use Leia's ability to substitute, because I don't want to have that interrupt me every time I'm trying to draw Battle Destiny. Leia's going to shoot at Boba, and she's probably going to hit. Oh, look at that. And I think that's an 18 total. Yep, total Destiny 18 because you add 1 to it. And evasion will kill him just because. But I can send him used. And then I retrieve 2 force, and I have only 6 cards left in my lost pile. I'm going to need every single one of those back. Unfortunately, I have On the Edge. And oh yeah, I did I'm With You too as well. But I targeted Darth Vader with On the Edge because he's a rebel now, so you can actually Imperials turn into rebels when they cross over. And Anakin has the same text in terms of adding 1 to each Battle Destiny, but I wanted to cross him over because if you cross over Vader, you have to select Anakin or Vader to be lost because you now have 2 Anakin Skywalkers. So how many Battle Destiny did it say I wanted to do? I kind of missed that, but we'll see. So my first Battle Destiny was a 45. I'm going to draw a lot of 45s here. Did we do I'm With You too? Yep, I did initiate that as a top level action. Always going to want to remember to do that. Otherwise, you're not going to get your Battle Destinies, your double Battle Destiny. We'll speed these up just a little bit. But yeah, with Vader on table instead of Anakin, I'm adding 1 to each of these Sidious lightsaber destiny draws, which is probably worth it over the long run. That'll teach Dr. Evasion to try to kill Luke. Eventually, we won't draw 45 anymore. I did use Figrindy and to recirculate. I forgot to mention that as I was talking about Vader. So that recirculated right after I retrieved all those cards. That replenished my deck. And I can draw all these destinies. Yeah, you'll notice there's a pretty big drop off between the Sidious lightsabers and the other cards, because if I remember correctly, those Sidious lightsabers, their base destiny was 15 or 17, excuse me. Whereas these other ones is, 3, 4, 5, 6, mostly 4s and 5s. But all those cards add battle destinies. And without them, you really can't add all these battle destinies you need. And the nice thing about using those instead of, well, some characters that just plain add battle destinies I have in here, but those characters are on the table and can't be used for battle destiny, where if you play an interrupt to add battle destiny and then recycle or recirculate it, that's basically having the card twice. So we're going to get back into some 45s here. It's going to be a bit of a mix, I think. Or maybe towards the end, it's all red cards. I can't remember the order I played everything in. But yeah, every site is adding, every site battleground site I occupy is adding 1 because of that card. And we got just a couple cards left. A mere 31 life debt is. And we do finish with the Sidious lightsaber. That's nice. Total battle destiny ends up being 2,702. Unfortunately, Luke still does have to get forfeited, but I think he did his job. He carried his weight. So 2,702 battle destiny. That was the most I ended up getting. But yeah, maybe you have some ideas for how to get more. There was some trial and error here. I did a couple practice runs, but all in all, it was pretty fun to try to put all this together. So hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know if you can get let's see who can get 2,800 in a game. That'd be pretty neat to see. So in any case, thanks for watching, and I hope you tune in for more videos.